I'm Dr. Heather Brown. I am the instructional designer here at Tidewater Community College. I work in the Center for Teaching Excellence. And before we begin, I would like everyone just to take a moment. The name of my presentation is Transformative Learning, Reframing Perspectives and Inspiring Change. I'd like for you in the chat, think about it for a minute, but what does transformative education mean to you, or transformative learning? Some of you may have heard about it, may know about it, might be called something different, but what does it mean to you? And I need your engagement. What does transformative education, transformative learning mean to you? Just go ahead and type it in the chat. Transformative learning means students understand and embrace learning. Okay. Okay. We have some new people here. Learning and implementing diverse strategies and pedagogies to reach more students and allow opportunities for learning. Yep. Learning new strategies for growth and development with diversity. We're putting some good stuff in here. All right. I'm going to turn my camera off because I have to look in a certain direction and it's going to be distracting. Just a minute. So I'm going to share my screen and then I'm going to begin. You let me know, can everybody see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
All right. I just need to get back to my screen. Hold on a minute, because I lost my. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Stop sharing at the moment. I can't. Just hold on for me for a minute. For some reason, my. All right. So today we're going to talk about transformative learning, reframing perspectives, and inspiring change. Imagine, if you would, a classroom where students aren't just memorizing facts, but actively shaping their understanding of the world. Have you ever wondered if there's a better way for students to learn? Transformative education provides that solution. For a long time, education has often been viewed as a process of knowledge transfer, filling students with information. We pour information in and hopefully they retain it. But what if we could do more? What if we could help students not just to learn what to think, but how to think? That's where transformative education comes in. Transformative education goes beyond simply transmitting knowledge. It's about reshaping how students think, how they engage, and how they grow as individuals. It's about helping students develop critical thinking skills, question assumptions, and discover their own perspectives. In the next 25 minutes, we'll explore what transformative education is, its core elements, the benefits to our students, and strategies to implement it effectively in your teaching practices. Transformative education is built on 4 core elements: critical reflection, where beliefs and assumptions are questioned; active engagement, where students collaborate and work together; inclusive learning environments, where all students feel included and valued; and authentic learning, where learners connect with what they are learning to real-world scenarios. Each of these components play a vital role in creating meaningful learning experiences that go beyond the traditional methods. So let's take a closer look at each one. Critical reflection. This encourages students to examine their own beliefs, their assumptions, and their biases. It means encouraging them to question why they think the way they do and to consider alternative perspectives. For example, this could be a journal assignment where students reflect on how their upbringing has shaped their views on a particular social issue discussed in class. Or perhaps you have a guided classroom discussion where you ask them to consider the limitations of their own knowledge. Let's talk about active engagement. This approach immerses students in the learning process by involving them directly in real-world challenges and collaborative experiences. Instead of passively receiving information, students actively apply theoretical knowledge to practical situations, making learning more dynamic and impactful. For example, imagine a group project where students work together to develop a solution to a local environmental problem. Or consider a service learning project where they take what they've learned in the classroom and use it to make a meaningful difference in their community. These hands-on activities not only enhance understanding, but it also fosters critical thinking, teamwork, and real-world problem-solving skills. Next, we have the inclusive learning environments, which are spaces where every student feels valued, respected, and empowered to participate fully. By fostering a culture of inclusion, we create opportunities for all learners to engage and thrive, regardless of their diverse backgrounds, their learning preferences, or perspectives. For example, this could involve applying, This could involve applying universal design principles to ensure course materials are accessible to everyone. It also might mean implementing strategies to encourage the quieter students to share their thoughts and contribute to discussions. By being intentional about inclusion, we can create a classroom environment where every student feels supported and has a chance to succeed. Finally, let's look at authentic learning. This approach bridges the gap between classroom concepts and real-world applications, allowing students to see the relevance of what they're learning to their lives and future careers. By engaging in projects and activities that mirror real-life scenarios, students can apply their knowledge to practical situations and understand the direct impact of their learning. For example, instead of just reading about marketing theories, students could create a marketing plan for a local business. Other strategies include using case studies that simulate real-world challenges, requiring students to analyze complex situations and propose solutions. You might also invite professionals from various fields to share their experiences and discuss how they use the concepts covered in class in their daily jobs. This helps students connect their learning to their potential career paths. Encouraging students to develop portfolios is another way to showcase their work and reflect on their learning process can really help them see the progression of their skills and align their academic growth with professional goals. The benefits of transformative education are really profound. It equips students with critical thinking skills. It fosters self-awareness, It encourages civic engagement and enhances their ability to solve complex problems. These skills prepare them not just for academic success, but life beyond the classroom. It builds stronger critical thinking and analytical skills. Students learn to analyze information, evaluate arguments, and form their own well-reasoned conclusion. This goes beyond the memorization and rote learning. It enhances their ability to collaborate. Transformative education often involves teamwork and collaboration, preparing students to work effectively with a diverse group of people. And in today's world, this is a vital skill in today's globalized world. Another benefit is greater confidence in tackling complex problems. By engaging with real-world challenges, students gain the confidence to tackle complex problems and develop innovative solutions. They're more likely to see themselves as problem solvers. It also benefits them. It gives them a deeper sense of responsibility. It cultivates this deeper sense of responsibility toward their communities and the world. They become more engaged citizens who are committed to making a positive impact. They start asking, how can what I'm learning and capable of change the world? These aren't just buzzwords. They're tangible skills and qualities that make our graduates competitive and engaged citizens. Imagine the impact on student motivation and engagement when they can see the direct relevance of their learning to their life and their communities. Think about how impactful this could be for your students in your course. So next, I'm going to show you some concrete strategies for the core elements that you can start using right away. Critical reflection, as I mentioned, encourages students to examine their own beliefs, assumptions, and biases. It means encouraging them to question why they think the way they do and consider alternative perspectives. Here I have 4 strategies that you can incorporate. And some of you may already be incorporating these or have some other ones. And I have a little activity a little bit later that we'll participate in. But one, you could start it with a belief inventory. At the beginning of a topic or concept, have students briefly write down their initial beliefs about the topic, and then revisit these beliefs at the end of that topic to see if their understanding has evolved. Or you can use reflective journaling. Assign short, regular journal entries where students respond to prompts like, what surprised you about this week's material? Or how does this connect to your own experiences? Or perhaps, what questions are you still struggling with? Another one is incorporate think, pair, share with a reflective twist. After presenting maybe a controversial topic, have students individually reflect on their stance. Then they'll discuss this with a partner and finally share their revised perspectives with the class. Another one is the devil's advocate discussion. Assign students roles to argue opposing viewpoints, even if it's not their personal belief, to challenge assumptions and consider different perspectives. And active engagement, as I mentioned, is crucial for student learning. It involves students being actively involved in the learning process rather than just passively receiving information. You can incorporate frequent quick writes, short 1 to 2 minute writing prompts during lectures to help students process the information and check their understanding. Use polling, questions during lectures to check for understanding and stimulate discussion. Implement jigsaw activities. Divide a topic into smaller pieces. Have students become experts on one of the pieces, then collectively share their expertise with the group. Design problem-based learning scenarios. Present students with a real-world problem and challenge them to work collaboratively to develop a solution. Active engagement often involves real-world challenges and collaborative experience that go beyond just listening to the lectures, as I've mentioned. Inclusive classrooms require strategies such as learning about students' diverse backgrounds, creating opportunities for personal storytelling, providing materials in various formats, using diverse teaching methods, setting expectations for respect, and addressing bias or discrimination when it arises. Um, I know we talk about universal design for learning, so providing materials in different formats, maybe in a PDF or a video. Um, you know, setting your course expectations, set clear expectations for respectful communication. There's some other strategies for inclusive classroom. One is called equity sticks or random calling. Instead of relying on volunteers, use a random method to call on students to ensure broader participation. Wait time. After asking a question, intentionally pause for a few seconds to give all the students time to process and formulate a response. Small group discussions first. Before opening up to the whole class discussion, allow students to discuss in small groups. This gives the quieter students a chance to articulate their thoughts in a less intimidating setting. Multiple avenues for participation. Provide a variety of ways for students to participate, such as in-class discussions, online forums, written assignments, and individual meetings. This caters to different communication styles and learning preferences. I am going to stop sharing at this time. Okay. And I am going to share a Padlet with everyone. And I just need to find... Just bear with me while I find my Padlet. Here we go. What I want us to do is, based off the presentation and some of the strategies, there's a link in the chat. I don't know if any of you have worked with Padlet before. I'm going to go to the chat. You should all have access to it. And there's a little plus underneath each section. One is called the critical reflection, active engagement, inclusive learning environment, and authentic learning. I've pinned the definitions at the top, and then these that you'll see down below are the ones that I presented in the presentation. By clicking on a plus sign, it'll pull up the subject, and then you can write something. What I'd like for you all to do is brainstorm. You might be doing some of these things already and additional strategies that I haven't gone over. So let's take a few minutes, and what do you do for reflection in your courses now? What do you do for active engagement? How about what do you do for an inclusive learning environment? Or perhaps what do you do for authentic learning? And then I made a column for domain specific. So if it's something specific for, let's say, business that you've done, you can put it under, business. I know the other day in Stacy Forgey's presentation, she's in the ACUE program, Effective Teaching Online program, and she really liked for inclusive learning. They pair two students up with each other, and the one person talks about themselves to the other person, and vice versa, and then they come back, and this is for her in-class introductions, and then the other person introduces the person they were paired up with. It's just really just a different way of getting people to interact with each other in the classroom.
It's actually my idea. And
Ah,
I shared it with Stacy because my daughter is very shy. And we were
yes.
talking about interacting in class, and she said, I always hated having to talk in class in front of everybody. And I said, well, how did you get around class discussions? She said, and she's the one that brought that up. She said, well, when I only had to talk to one or two people, I didn't mind it. And I said, oh, I never thought about that. And then when we were talking about bias, I said this way, when there's only one other person, that can make someone that's either shy or not used to being in school or whatnot. It helps them be more inclusive that way because now they can get to know at least one person in the class right off the bat for introductions. But I'm glad she's using that because it's worked out really well. I've had a lot of good feedback on it. I've even had a student come up to me and say exactly that they always hated classroom introductions in front of everybody. So,
Yeah, it can be really intimidating.
mhm.
I know someone was saying, and that they are very mindful of the pictures that they use in their presentation to make sure that, as a diverse group of people when they're presenting. Who was it? I can't remember what faculty member, and she actually had, I think he was Muslim, and she had a picture, and the student came up and just said, I was really happy to see my people. Yeah, so I think that it makes a big difference. No one's adding anything. I can't hear you, Kelly. You're on mute.
You want us to click on the plus sign underneath one of these four?
If you have strategies that you already use, these are just the ones that I went over.
Oh, yeah, well, these are ones I want to try, so.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's
Let's
another
see.
thing.
All right.
You will always have access to this, so you might want to bookmark that link that I put in the chat. I'm gonna stop my share right now, but I have one more little slide to go over. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, so you will definitely have access to this tablet at any time. And so I just wanted to leave you all with, embracing transformative education. What we talked about today is fundamentally about fostering critical reflection, active engagement, inclusive learning, and authentic experiences for our students. It's about going beyond the traditional model of knowledge transfer and empowering our students to become critical thinkers and engaged citizens and lifelong learners. We've discussed how faculty can foster this approach by integrating specific actionable strategies into your courses, strategies like the reflective journaling, the problem-based learning, inclusive participation, and real-world projects. These strategies, when implemented thoughtfully, can create a powerful and transformative learning environment. Transformative education is about creating a learning environment where students feel empowered to take ownership of their learning. So as you all leave today, I encourage you to remember to reflect on your teaching and start experimenting with strategies that resonate with you and your course objectives. Even small changes can make a big difference in the lives of your students. So I challenge you to choose at least one strategy you've learned today and incorporate it into your classroom. And I am available. I'll undo my... And I'm available to help in any way. If you need assistance with coming up with some strategies or where to implement, please feel free to reach out. And my email is hbrown@tcc.edu. I put it in the chat, and it is 3:26. If anybody has any questions, I also need to give you the survey. Okay. That's the end of my presentation.